Everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to our workshop today, Luxury Events That Matter, hosting with purpose and influence. Today, our workshop is part of a tiered series of high impact educational workshops brought to you by our National Coldwell Banker Luxury Marketing Team. Today is an unlocked workshop. So today's session will inspire new possibilities by going beyond the fundamentals and highlighting.
Christina, I can't hear you. But I'm sharing my screen. I'm gonna have to leave and come back. So sorry, everyone. Just give me one moment.
Apologies, everyone, for the technical difficulties.
Yes.
Hopefully
Sorry.
you can hear me.
I can hear you now. I just have to get it back up. I'm so sorry. Bear with us one moment. Okay.
Perfect. So we'll resume. So today's workshop is it's an unlocked workshop. So we're really going to focus on some real life, real world applications and talk about some different ideas that you can implement in your marketplace. Before we dive into all of the fun and exciting content we have for you all today, we do have a few housekeeping items to go over. Today's workshop is being recorded, so feel free to take notes. However, you will have access to this recording if you'd like to refer back at a later date. The chat, as well as everyone's cameras and microphones, have been disabled, and they'll be disabled throughout the presentation to allow you to focus on the content. However, we will have a live Q&A at the end of the presentation, so feel free to jot down your questions, and at that time, you can raise your hand, your virtual hand, and we'll enable your mic and camera. Lastly, we do have a few disclaimers that we are required to run through so that we can share this recording. So we appreciate your patience through these next few slides. We appreciate you being here today. This program is optional and we'll discuss best practices for your consideration. If you are thinking of adopting any of them, please make sure to review the requirements in your region with your manager, including those related to contacting consumers. We do want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, also known as the TPA. The general rules are that it is okay to call people if the person recently gave you their phone number, but remember to check the DNC list first if you haven't spoken to that person or contacted that lead in a while. You'll want to also check the DNC list anytime you don't have express permission to contact that consumer. Automated calling or texting platforms should never be used, and pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should never be used. You are personally liable for any violations of the TCPA. And on this slide, you can see where you can find the Do Not Contact list through Desk. Please note that the Do Not Call registry does shut down if the government is shut down. So please exercise extreme caution in sales calls and texts during those times. Okay, now that we have all of that fun stuff out of the way, to kick things off, we'd like to take a moment to introduce ourselves and the extraordinary team behind this educational initiative. My name is Christina Larson, and I am the Luxury Marketing Manager for Florida, the Carolinas, the Mid-Atlantic, and Atlanta regions.
My name is Tori Ship. I am the Luxury Marketing Manager for Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia and Greater Pennsylvania.
And my name is Emily Kaplan. I am the Luxury Marketing Specialist for Florida, the Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and Atlanta. Turning to the next slide, the Global Luxury Marketing Team covers every major luxury market with 15 experienced luxury marketing managers and specialists across the country to deliver personalized support, strategy, and innovation to our agents. This map gives you a visual overview of the areas supported by our expert team. We will be sharing a document with every team member's coverage area and contact information at the end of the presentation. Also, in today's workshop, we will explore strategic approaches to elevating your visibility within the local luxury marketplace through luxury property events. We'll begin by highlighting the value of hosting a thoughtfully curated and elevated property event, defining a luxury property, followed by our key recommendations from early stage brainstorming and essential considerations to strategic partnerships, curating the guest list, and effective event promotion. We'll walk through best practices designed to ensure your luxury property event is both memorable and impactful. And then finally, we'll conclude today's presentation with a live Q&A. Just a quick note, in this workshop, we'll be exploring a lot of event considerations and best practices. So because of that, we'll be sending out a checklist as a PDF handout after the session, which will include all the steps we covered today. So just to kick us off, Tori will be defining what truly makes an event a luxury event and how hosting these experiences can elevate your brand and your business.
Thank you, Emily. So I will kick off with why luxury experiences matter. So firstly, they create meaningful exposure for your luxury listings beyond traditional marketing by immersing attendees in both the property and the lifestyle it represents. Events also generate early momentum and interest, especially within the agent community, by making the property an exclusive destination. Hosting well-crafted events reinforces your professionalism, attention to detail, and trustworthiness to both your clients and your peers. Successful luxury events also allow both the hosting agents and attendees an opportunity to strengthen network and strengthen referrals. And crucially, they also add value for the client and are a strong piece of your luxury listing presentation. Many luxury homes are built for entertaining, and their owners love to hear that you would showcase their home in a way that respects and celebrates it. The way that I personally position this benefit to clients is that based on their comfort, of course, we can host a curated event with an exclusive guest list to ensure that only agents or buyers who regularly operate in luxury and have qualified clients at this price point would be invited to view their home. And this makes them feel much more secure and shows the strength of our luxury marketing team as well as our network. And most of all, they take what could otherwise have been just a simple open house and make it into an actual experience that's difficult to forget. When people actually spend time in a property and engage with it naturally, they associate it with a positive interaction and it becomes far more memorable. So today we're going to break down what it actually takes to execute at that level, so you leave with a framework that you can apply to your next listing and beyond. So to host a truly elevated and high impact luxury experience, you need to, of course, focus on the right venue. In addition to meeting the pricing threshold, a qualifying luxury property must also offer exceptional quality, character, and lifestyle value. So when we think about whether a property qualifies as luxury and whether it's a strong candidate for an event, there are a few core characteristics that we're looking for. Firstly, a property with strong architectural and design features make it visually compelling on arrival, which immediately sets the tone for your event. Of course, ample lot size and overall space are both important for a successful event. Generously sized interiors, functional outdoor areas, and a natural flow allow guests to move comfortably about the home without it feeling overcrowded. A breathtaking view offers an exceptional backdrop for a luxury event as it provides a natural focal point and defining feature people associate with the property. To that end, a desirable location communicates value instantly as well. Proximity to established luxury neighborhoods, amenities, or high demand areas alone can increase turnout for a curated event because guests will understand the caliber of the property before they even see it. A qualifying home will also feature amenities that support a luxury lifestyle, and these amenities should be showcased as part of your event. Unique high-end homes with a clear point of distinction are also something to look out for because it gives guests something specific to remember, talk about, and share afterward. And if a property has an interesting history or compelling narrative of any sort, it's a fantastic way to add depth and significance, which then strengthens recall and sparks further conversation amongst their network. So once you've identified that the home is a good candidate for an event, you'll begin curating thoughtful themes and elements to bring it to life. Every home has a unique energy and its own set of strengths. So your first step is always understanding what the property already does well on its own and leaning into that. So looking at those luxury characteristics like the architecture, layout, setting, views, and the flow. And to make the tour really memorable, you can anchor it with a cohesive theme. For example, a global luxury tasting tour, where each property features a signature like small bite inspired by a different region of the world. That kind of culinary progression naturally encourages attendees to visit all three homes because the experience unfolds from stop to stop. You can also do things to reinforce that flow, like save your raffle drawing until the final property, so people have to see all of them, things like that, which create a built-in incentive for guests to complete the full tour. I know a lot of members on our team throughout the country also host really curated themed events. So I'd like to have Kathleen come on for a second and share about one that she did recently.
Hi. I had an agent in my region, I'm in the Midwest, who had a really beautiful property with a luxury outdoor space. And so she wanted to host an event in the summer so that she could really showcase the pool and outdoor area. So she had a chef with an outdoor cart serving food around the pool so that the agents and the visitors could tour the home, but really showcase the outdoor area. So they served food around the pool and had a drone and had a photographer taking photos of all the agents around the pool area so they could really showcase that for their social media and things like that after the event. So it was very successful and everyone enjoyed drinking champagne and eating around the outdoor space, which they wanted to showcase.
Yeah, sounds beautiful and like a perfect theme for that type of property. So thank you so much for sharing that example. We just want to give you guys some inspiration as well. And to Kathleen's point, you really never want the theme to be distracting or forced. So instead of piling on elements, focus on a few well-chosen layers that elevate the setting rather than compete with it. So this could be things like that curated food, or it could be musicians positioned where sound carries naturally, thoughtful lighting that highlights certain architectural details, catering from local high-end eateries to bring the lifestyle front and center. Truly anything that complements the home and enhances the experience. So strategy and organization are really necessary to accomplish this. So you can even create something like a vision board that we have here to help you visualize each component and how they all work together. So you can see here that the tone is clearly defined. The color palette complements the existing environment without overpowering it. And even the tiniest details, such as custom napkins, are considered. And while guests might not consciously notice each of those choices, the thoughtfulness and cohesion will always come through. And you've transformed a standard Broker's Open into a curated can't miss experience.
And I love that you just mentioned the branded napkins, Tori. That's a very easy way to have consistent branding throughout. All of the elements included in your event should feel intentional and aligned, both with your personal brand and the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury brand. Brand alignment ensures that the entire experience feels really elevated. And then when hospitality is executed thoughtfully and authentically, it transforms the event into a memorable experience and will help strengthen your position as a trusted advisor in the luxury space. So again, this could include your design choices, signage, communication. Hospitality should reflect consistent and elevated standards. And hosting a successful event requires to think beyond logistics. So, how do guests feel when they arrive at the property? Keep in mind the little details like where will guests park? If you have 100 guests in attendance, most likely they won't all be able to park in the driveway. So, is a valet service needed? These are things to consider when you're planning your event. And when your guests arrive, we always recommend welcoming them with a glass of champagne or sparkling water at the door. Encourage them to explore the property, capture photos and videos, and engage with other guests in attendance. Be intentional about your flow and the structure of your event. It's a great idea to include a guest speaker or an agent panel. that will help drive engagement and provide added value for the attendees. A commonly used and highly effective timeline that we see at a number of luxury events begins with welcoming and greeting guests for the first 15 minutes or so of the event. It'll allow for arrivals and informal connections. And then as a listing agent, it's kind of up to you to guide the attendees through the property's key features, distinguishing attributes, and then maybe you introduce the guest speaker. Then we typically recommend a meal or curated small bites. Serving the food or meal last keeps the guests engaged through the full presentation from the guest speaker rather than drifting out early. And then with the event concluding in a more casual manner, which would encourage all of the agents or attendees to explore the property further and capture content for social media. This is going to help promote the property and your event beyond just your own social media. Having a more structured approach provides clarity and intention, ensuring that the guests will feel guided rather than disconnected. It'll also allow for ample time for agents and attendees to really experience the home, take a lot of photos and videos. And again, this is just going to be to your benefit as they promote it on social media. On the day of your event, you as the agent are the host. Great events are also built through thoughtful collaborations with brands and professionals who complement the property, the audience, and the experience that you want to create. There are a number of different ways to approach partnerships and collaboration. So let's look at a few partnership categories that work exceptionally well in our space. Lifestyle driver partnerships can transform an event from a property tour to an experience. An interior designer can speak to the home's design potential, current design trends, or the services that they offer. A live painter or musician creates an elevated gallery style feel. Maybe you have a chef prepare a meal or small bites in the chef-inspired kitchen, which allows for an immersive experience for the guests. I love the idea of bringing in a local mixologist or sommelier. Think about offering a signature cocktail or a wine tasting or food pairing. These are great opportunities to highlight the ways that buyers might actually live in and enjoy the space. Other events are more focused on the community. Bringing in local philanthropic organizations or cultural groups can create meaningful connections. This approach works exceptionally well if your goal is to position the property as part of the local cultural fabric. If it's appropriate, you could always host a charity dinner or include a silent auction with proceeds benefiting a local nonprofit if it aligns with your event. Partnerships can also provide intellectual value. So a guest speaker, such as a market expert, someone from local government, or an agent panel can give your event more substance. And just a quick tip from experience, if you are going to include a guest speaker or have a presentation of any kind, be sure that you have appropriate seating, the right technology set up, and maybe a few questions prepared to ask the panel or the guest speaker. Candace, I know you're currently working on a very exciting event. What are some details or elements that the agent is choosing to include in their upcoming property event?
Yeah, so right now we're in Texas, so the weather is absolutely stunning. So we've got two events happening. We've got a cocktail hour event as well as a brunch event at two different properties. For the brunch event, just because of it is a lighter feeling, we actually decided to partner with a local coffee shop, and they have the capabilities of doing like the print on the lattes. So we came up with a branded kind of logo for the home as well. And so they're actually going to print the logo on the coffee. So it doesn't interrupt what the agents are doing and the interaction, but it does create a talking point as well as just helps elevate the feel of that event. We also have the cocktail hour event happening soon. And we've partnered with a couple of local catering companies, and we're going to have a caviar bar and all of that. And the home's really set up that we can open it, and it's a very indoor outdoor feeling on that home. And it just kind of helps create a elevated luxury feeling of the event without taking away from the home.
I love those examples. I can't wait to hear how they turn out. I especially love the brunch one and doing coffee and pastries. I feel like that's going to be a really great event. So thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
Another impactful partnership that you can bring into a luxury event at one of your listings is maybe you bring in the property's architect, designer, developer, if it is a new development. A meet and greet with them or presentation from them can give guests rare insight into the story and intention behind the home's design. This is especially powerful if the home has architectural significance, custom craftsmanship, some unique design elements, or distinctive renovation history. Another elevated experience that really showcases the property well is a sunset preview. Maybe my personal favorite, but luxury buyers do care deeply about ambiance, light, and the emotional connections, and few things showcase a property more beautifully than golden hour. So that would be probably one of my favorite events. This format will work exceptionally well if you have a listing that is waterfront or has water views, outdoor living spaces, expansive windows, or dramatic landscapes. And sunset previews are a great opportunity for more of a relaxed evening event, perfect for offering small bites and a happy hour style menu. Also, micro showcases. These are small experience-driven activations that highlight a specific aspect of a home. So if your listing had a cellar, for example, you could do a wine tasting in the cellar. You could also do a luxury vintage pop-up shop in a large primary closet or a wellness demo in the spa-like primary. These experiences can be unexpected and fun while spotlighting key features of the property. It makes the property feel aspirational and the home feel lived in. Curated luxury property events are a great opportunity to bring in luxury adjacent partners or businesses. Ultimately, these partnerships can help transform your event into a multi-layered experience. Now let's discuss arguably the biggest drivers of event success, and that is the attendance. Whether your event is designed for agents, the public, or a blend of both, curating the right guest list is one of the most critical factors. Maybe you consider curating different property spotlight events for different groups. For many of our luxury listings, it is often advantageous to begin with a broker's preview or broker's open. Hosting this type of event right before the property goes live or right when it goes live allows for your fellow real estate professionals to experience the home early and assess whether it may be a strong match for any of their clients. Broker previews are also an effective way if you're looking to gather valuable feedback on pricing, condition, or positioning. And feel free to lean on your luxury marketing team for support if you're looking to promote the event to our network of luxury property specialists in the marketplace. Past clients and trusted members of your sphere may also be appropriate guests for some of these property showcase events, particularly if your event is designed to reinforce long-term relationships, showcase market expertise, or highlight a property that embodies a distinct lifestyle. Maybe you host a charity tennis or pickleball tournament on the property's sport courts. Keep in mind these events are great opportunities to build future guest lists as well. A well-curated guest list should feel intentional, balanced, and aligned. Our team, again, has had the privilege of attending several exceptional property events. And Michaela, I'm going to ask you for one of your most recent experiences. Is there anything you can share with the group?
Yeah, of course. So I feel like this kind of works super perfectly, just kind of talking about partnerships and your invite list. So I was actually working with an agent in Northern California where we partnered with a local interior design firm for a really private invite only. But really what kind of made this partnership really was successful was we were actually able to tap directly into that design firm's existing client base for our invite list. So this worked really well just because their client list really just aligned with that luxury property in terms of taste, design, price point, and just like that overall luxury lifestyle. So right away, just kind of tapping into that partnership and utilizing their client base for that invite really just made it a little bit more elevated and ensured that we're really highly targeting qualified buyers. And then of course, utilizing that list and making sure that that firm was actually at the event really just helped. Of course, that's their client base. We want to invite them and really just help the experience overall. So kind of using that partnership that you guys talked about earlier, utilizing that for your client list can be really impactful, especially when, as my example, really making sure that it aligns with that luxury lifestyle, the taste, and really just make sure it's the right qualified buyers.
I love that. And when was this event, Michaela? This was recently, right? So we don't even know if there's any success stories or referrals. Well,
Yes,
keep us updated.
it was like a couple weeks ago. And I will say, like, in terms of traffic, the event was super, super successful. But what I felt like what made the event even more successful was really just the engagement. Because it was such a curated list that matched that property, we were seeing guests were staying longer. They were engaging a little bit more deeply. And there was just a little bit more of that stronger emotional connection to that property because we had that design alignment element with that list of invites. So it just made it a little bit more purposeful and a little bit more personalized for those lists when we had that engagement throughout the event.
Love that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to talk about promotion because even the most perfectly curated event won't reach its full potential if people don't know about it. Your first promotional touch point is often your email invitation. So this should feel polished, visually compelling, and aligned with the global luxury brand. Use striking imagery, clean design, and a subject line that sparks curiosity or highlights the value of attending. Promotion in office Facebook groups or regional brand social pages and outreach to brokerages outside of Coldwell Banker would fall to you as the listing agent, but as always, responsibilities may vary slightly by region, so you want to make sure you contact your local luxury marketing team for additional clarification and guidelines. Promotion should begin early and often. We recommend sending digital invitations at least 2 weeks in advance with several reminder emails leading up to the event. For optimal traction, especially for public events, aim for a month or more. This gives people time to plan around work, travel, and family schedules. For email blasts, try testing different send times, days of the week, and subject lines to see what really resonates. Highlight what makes your event special: guest speakers, unique themes, or exclusive access. For events open to the public, social media becomes a powerful amplifier in addition to evites. We also suggest embedding a link to a registration form so you can easily track RSVPs, which is helpful for knowing the number of guests expected and gives insights into who will be participating. We'll cover this more in detail on the next few slides. But because events often spark unexpected conversations and connections, it's a good idea to always have your listing presentation on hand, a copy of the Coldwell magazine, and the latest trend report or any other relevant materials in case a new opportunity presents itself. So where does the global luxury marketing team come in? Think of us as your creative and strategic partners, here to help elevate your event, amplify your reach, and help you deliver an experience that aligns seamlessly with the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury brand standards. While the listing agent is responsible for any printed or digital property marketing, flyers, brochures that highlight the home's key features, we can support you with digital invitation development and design, ensuring your materials look polished, cohesive, and on brand. We recommend linking a registration form in the digital invite for a clean way to track the attendance. This online registration form allows you to collect event signups, RSVPs, attendee details, and any type of registration information in a simple, organized, and secure way. Once someone registers, you could then send out a calendar invite with the event details. This step helps lock the event onto their schedule and significantly increases the likelihood that they'll show up. For the event itself, consider having a custom QR code created for guests to scan on site. This can link to a photo upload folder where attendees can share any images that they have from the event itself. A thoughtful thank you email is also essential. It reinforces the relationship, keeps you top of mind, and positions you as a professional who values connection. Shifting into some other best practices, these proven strategies consistently elevate luxury events and create experiences people remember. So timing is key. For agent-focused events, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays prove to deliver the strongest turnout. And midday window, roughly noon to 2:30 p.m., tends to be the sweet spot. It avoids morning rush, respects afternoon showings, and fits naturally into an agent's workday. For public-facing events, you may expand into early evenings or weekends depending on your market. It's also important to note that a broker's open and public open house should be held on separate days. At minimum, start sharing event details 2 weeks in advance, and once guest registers, follow up with a reminder email 2 days before the event, the morning of, and send out that calendar invite to registrants as soon as they register with the location and any pertinent details like parking instructions. So multiple touches and a calendar hold increase actual attendance. Partnerships dramatically expand your reach, in addition to collaborating with mortgage title companies, local vendors, caterers, service providers, and other guest speakers. One effective strategy could include partnering with another agent who may have a listing of a similar caliber and is in close proximity to yours. Together, you can co-host a progressive multi-property tour. You could also look for opportunities to align your event with an existing activity. If there's already a Coldwell Banker affiliate event happening in your market, that could be a built-in audience. Agents are already in town and far more likely to attend an elevated experience. For public events, consider pairing your timing with local festivals, art walks, or community happenings that naturally bring people into the area. And then shifting into what we have in place on the day of, one suggestion is having that curated raffle or a drawing to boost engagement. It gives you a natural way to collect business cards or contact information, whether it's a brochure or a small gift with your logo and contact information. Offering other branded take-home pieces reinforces your professionalism and keeps the property top of mind long after the event ends. Capturing the event is also just as important as hosting. So you may think about hiring a videographer or photographer to ensure you walk away with polished assets you can use for future marketing. And consider creating an interactive photo opportunity to encourage guests to capture and share their own content as well. Event flow can directly impact how long guests stay. A proven structure that we've seen in our markets is welcoming guests with a glass of champagne or Prosecco, followed by a guided tour, a panel or guest speaker segment, and then food service at the end. And then a luxury event doesn't just end when the last guest walks out the door. Follow up with a simple thank you note. This also is your chance to nurture new leads, and your regional luxury marketing team can help you craft a thoughtful, polished thank you email that aligns with the tone of your event and keeps your event elevated. And then finally, don't forget to leverage your event content, post those photos, videos, and tag your collaborators, highlighting the best moments, and use the content to extend the life of your events. So I want to leave you with a few simple takeaways to start hosting with purpose, strategies you can implement right away, no matter your market, your listing, or experience level. So start small. You don't need to spend a ton of money to host an event with purpose. Even adding just 1 or 2 intentional touches can elevate the event experience, like a signature beverage, a beautifully designed invite, and a thoughtful contributor can transform a standard broker's open into an experience. And the most successful luxury events often begin with a clear purpose. Before you think about catering, signage, or timing, ask yourself, what do I want guests to walk away knowing, feeling, or doing? So use the events checklist handout you'll receive today. This is a step-by-step resource designed to help you host with confidence and ensure nothing gets overlooked. You can also connect with your global luxury marketing team to enhance what factors to consider when deciding whether to host an event.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Emily. As we wrap up today's workshop, I just want to remind you about our amazing marketing support resources that can be found at coldwellbankermarketing.com. Here you can browse the Global Luxury Workshop Series brochure and sign up for an upcoming workshop, view on-demand marketing, education via our YouTube channel, and more.